They sell you freaking solutions for problems they have created, okay? They made the overworld traveling on purpose so bad, so you have to pull characters so it feels better. Natlan characters somehow seem more about their gadgets than the characters themselves. I want to pull for an archon, not a motorbike. They cannot make good characters anymore. That's why they put like the most good traveling mechanics into them, so you actually pull them. Feels so desperate. Pixel Dragon, Techno DJ, Flying Gun, and a motorcycle. In a world we haven't even seen. Modern forms of transport. The Pyro archon travels around in a bike while her people still are living on a stone age. I mean, Natlan is pretty much the worst character designs we got so far. Finally, somebody calling out the huge problem in Genshin Natlan right now. Are Genshin characters becoming too absurd? And I wanted to watch this. I did not watch it yet because he is probably calling out the weird designs they've been having, with Chaska flying on a huge revolver, with DJ Gilonen that has a literal DJ pult, Kinich that has an arcade dragon. Like, bro, what is happening in Genshin, man? Good that he actually talks about it. Let's see. He's probably gonna be very, very careful with his words. He's probably not gonna shit talk Genshin at all, but I will. So let's watch.
So, I'm not sure about you, but I feel like after playing in Natlan region for a while, it doesn't seem like the Genshin experience I'm used to. From character designs to exploration to really weird power creep, things just seem to be out of place. And so in this
Oh my god. That looks funny. That's so goofy.
just seem to be out of
That is so goofy.
place. And so in this video, I want to talk about all of this because I find it really interesting the way I experienced Genshin these past few months. And I
really do wonder which developer thinks this gameplay is fun, by the way. Not only is this very absurd, a flying gun, which doesn't fit into this game at all, first of all, but also the whole gameplay shtick. It's just so repetitive and boring. You charge your freaking weapon, you shoot. Charge weapon, shoot. I would never pull this character, to be honest. Just for the
I'm the
gameplay
only
now.
one here. So let's talk about some of the crucial things that I believe are affecting the game right now. But first, this video is sponsored by Corepunk, an isometric
Insane.
open world MMORPG. Look, let me be clear first. I've actually enjoyed Natlan region as a whole quite a lot. As you can see, I've obtained 100% exploration on quite a few zones. The story so far,
Yeah, because that's the only thing you can do nowadays in Genshin. Just explore. Mint picking.
my opinion, has been pretty intriguing, especially if the captain is
That's no
involved.
content.
Hence, I also love the fact you can possess different kinds of cute saurians to explore Natlan. But I
Cute.
also noticed some weird design decisions. So I
Yep.
want to talk about quite a few of them
And
in
I've
this
quite a feeling that it's gonna be even more absurd with upcoming characters. And everybody knows what I'm saying. A certain drip marketing already happened with a certain motorcycle. Yep, we have seen it. People didn't like it. Sid Lali got more likes on Twitter than mavuika. And that is such an eye-opener that people think it's freaking weird. It doesn't fit in. And this is supposed to be the god of war, the god of freaking war, on a motorcycle. That looks like it's from Tron, from a Disney movie or something. It looks so out of place, man.
video. And yes, I know about the Pyro
Next is gonna be a car or a tank. I wonder what they're actually gonna do there.
Archon's motorcycle from Drip Marketing, which I'll cover a bit later in the video.
Oh, there it is. Yep. We got the motorcycle uniform. First of all, I would have been fine. I would have been accepting this design because in the end, she looks decent, okay? While it looks weird, this is a Zenless Zone Zero design. Doesn't fit into the freaking zone of Natlan, which is about dinosaurs and having no technology at all. But what does he have to say about it? Let's see it.
For now, let me talk about the exploration. Alright, by now, every single Natlan unit that came out has some kind of powerful mobility skill, like
Yep.
Mulani riding her.
So people have the urge to pull them because the traveling in the game is just super slow and boring. That's why you pull characters. It's the only reason, man. They sell you freaking solutions for problems they have created, okay? They made the overworld traveling on purpose so bad, so you have to pull characters so it feels better. Yep. I mean, smart. The smart move, but I don't think that players like that.
Sharkboard on water, Kinich spamming his grappling hook, and of course, Chaska can literally cover massive distances with her flying gun. And, I mean, if you're in Natlan and pulled for one of these
Jesus.
characters, there's very little reason not to use them to accelerate
Dude, look at this. That is insane. So,
spamming his grappling.
I don't know how long this path would have been taken if you just don't have Chaska. How the hell do you even get there if you don't have her? This is gonna be like taking me a week. I gotta take a week off for work to get to this island there if I don't have Chaska.
distances.
You can
with
fly
a
as a
flying
bird.
gun.
You cannot tell me the bird has the same capabilities as Jaska. Because Hoyoverse will make the bird worse. They will make the dinosaurs on purpose worse than the characters, so you actually pull the character and don't play the dinosaur. You can say whatever you want. I don't believe it. I think the bird is probably worse. Using bird is bad. Okay, there you go. I didn't play the update yet. Maybe I will. I would have assumed that. Yep, that Chaska is gonna be better than any freaking dinosaur.
Honestly, I think part of the reason why I was so motivated to 100% these zones was due to the fact everything was happening so quickly compared to any other region. However, if you step out of Natlan and go anywhere else with these units, they kind of become similar to any other unit that can move fast, like Yolan.
They become useless. Just say it. It's a freaking joke. They only are good in Natlan. You have Mualani, you spend $300, you go to Mondstadt, you can ride on the shark for maybe 3 seconds max, and it's gone. Okay, it doesn't do shit. The only character that is worth to pull in other zones probably is gonna be Farina, because then you can just walk on water, I guess.
Wanderer, Sayu, and so on. And it's strange really, because I don't know if you guys remember Skylanders, but I was obsessed with this collectible figure game. You put the figure on a special scanner and the Skylander shows up in your game, and then you can use their unique abilities. And it seems like the design philosophy for Natlan units being powerful in Natlan feels kinda inspired by Skylander expansion designs. For example, in Swap Force, some Skylanders...
No, it's inspired by Zelda, the Majora's Mask. Because there also, you put on a mask, now you can freaking swim faster, you can go underground with earth abilities. I never played Skylanders, maybe it's right.
Were mandatory to pass certain bonus levels, and in Superchargers, Skylanders could literally ride vehicles in some levels, and you can even buy more
Oh, wait, maybe. Hey, is this like Mavuika gameplay right there? Is this literally... Oh, maybe that's like after Mavuika. After Mavuika, we're gonna have like this. Insane.
Vehicle figures to experience the game in new ways. However, anytime a new expansion came out, those Skylanders you used became outdated or less prominent compared to their own expansions they came with. So it's kind of funny how Natlan units are great in Natlan in terms of exploration, but everywhere else they are completely tuned down. Anyway, sorry for ranting about Skylanders, I just wanted to finally find a reason to talk about it on this channel. Still, you know what else is super limiting but super strong for Natlan characters only? The artifact sets. Like Obsidian Codex is just straight up unusable by anyone who's not have Night Soul Blessing state.
Yep.
But for Natlan units, it provides...
That's also such a weird design decision to make a meta that only works in Natlan. Like, if you don't use Natlan characters altogether, you literally cannot use them. So I hate that. Why do you make characters that work only with certain other characters? Why is this even a thing?
Whopping 40% crit rate boost plus 15% damage boost as well. While the hero set, sure, the 2 set can work for units who are not from Natlan, since Night Soul bursts can be triggered by anyone, as long as there's one Natlan unit in party, and even the 4 set can provide a small but decent 12% elemental damage boost if a unit is not in a Night Soul Blessing state. And honestly, for some characters who are just built purely as supports, this can be a decent option. But this set absolutely hard carries someone like Kachina and Auroran, turning them into a similar power user as an animal character who utilizes Vivi set. But the thing is, going back to Obsidian Codex, I honestly think it was a bit too much to design it strictly around Night Soul Blessing state.
No.
Because, for example, when Fontaine came out...
It's literally just limiting the whole freaking game. It's literally what Genshin Impact is. You play a freaking part of the game that is so limited and you gotta move on to the next zone. It's like everything before that doesn't exist anymore. It's like, don't use the old characters, only use the new ones, only pull Natlan characters and play only Natlan characters. Forget about the past ones. They're useless now.
The Hunter set at first was only really usable on Fontaine characters, but after Furina released, it actually became useful for many damage dealers, thanks to the way she can constantly reduce HP party-wide. I mean, sure, later on Harmonic Whimsy showed up, and was really only useful for characters who can actively maintain...
Yeah, same thing by the way. It wasn't that bad, to be honest. I still am not a fan of this. These freaking mechanics they put into the game to kinda give you a different meta, I guess. If you think about it, if this wouldn't exist, you would just literally play the same team for 4 years, which I think is totally fine, okay? Just make fun characters, make good gameplay characters. I'm gonna make different teams. Why do we have to put in a mechanic that is freaking so limiting again?
Bond of Life, but still, Obsidian Codex is completely limited to
Farina
Natlan units
nerf.
only, unless Hoyo decides to release a unit in the future who can provide Night Soul Blessing State for anybody in the team. Anyway, so those are some of the design decisions I found weird so far, but what about the characters themselves? So far, a total of 6 Natlan units have been released. Bonnie, she's a big damage nuker who can perform especially well in vaporized teams. But if you miss even just one chomp, the damage performance goes down significantly. Some would say she power crept Neuvillette, but honestly, they both have their pros and cons. For example, Neuvillette is godlike at clearing multiple enemies super fast, while the longer you ride Mulani's surfboard, the less chomps you can output, so without grouping, her AoE is situational. Then there's Kinich. The dude is absolutely a menace when it comes to wacky playstyle, and
Kinich gameplay is so freaking clunky, it's so unfun. You just spin, and sometimes you get stuck while spinning, and I'm just wondering here, who made this design choice? It's like, I spin, I get stuck, I cannot play the character properly. It's the same thing with Geo, the Geo problem. The biggest problem still in Genshin. Who made the decision in Genshin Impact that the freaking constructs that you put on the ground are destroyable? Why are they getting one shot, first of all? You put on so many things on the ground because you have a Geo team, and then they get freaking one shot. It's like, I cannot play the game. Let me play the game. I put freaking Albedo's flower, so I have 20,000 extra damage per hit. It's disappearing. And now what? I gotta wait for it to come back. It's disappearing again. Geo is so freaking still. I mean, thank God Giori didn't have freaking constructs. That's nice. Navia doesn't have constructs. But the past freaking Geo characters, and they're not fixing it, by the way. Why can you destroy constructs? Why? And sometimes you place it on the floor, and it doesn't even place because there's something on the ground. It blocks you from placing it. Have you guys experienced this? You put something on the ground and it's disappearing immediately because there's something blocking it. It's freaking so frustrating. How can you even like develop this as a multi-billion-dollar company? It's so frustrating.
Because of the way some of his passives and weapons are catered towards running Burning or Burgeon teams, he still doesn't power creep someone like Alhaitham, who reigns supreme in Hyperbloom team comms. Now, Shilonen, some would say she power crept Kazuha. But at C0, that's a bit of a stretch. Sure, her elemental shred lasts for 15 seconds.
I'm not even gonna talk about that. They literally made the constellations to unlock the character, okay? If you pull Z0 in Genshin, it's like you only have half of the character. It's like you need constellations or they are actually good.
So that's 5 extra seconds that can be utilized by many more rotations and teams. On top of that, she provides healing, so any Farina comps will want that. And even the hero set provides almost identical damage boosting that Kazuha can do. Strictly speaking, if it's only against a single target, she can often be better option than Kazuha. However, the Samurai Boy can group enemies, which can still be relevant in harder events and Abyss or Theater modes. However,
yeah, I don't really think that she power crept them, to be honest. Kazuha is still amazing. Well, I think Shilonen C2 is probably better, right? Yeah, C2 Shilonen is freaking crazy. If you want C2, you gotta spend like, what, $700? I mean, that's a bit much to ask for, man. I don't have a problem with power creep, to be honest, because it's a gacha game. It happens in every game. It just depends on how bad it is, right? Is it really, really bad power creep? Then that's kind of a problem, yeah.
In a moment, I'll talk a bit about Natlan constellations. That's where things take a bit of a different turn. Finally, there's also Chaska. Funny thing is, even though she's so random with those bullets, but overall, I would say she's been an amazing exploration unit, especially in Natlan, when, yet again, there's enemies like—
Oh, you mean only in Natlan? I cannot imagine you can travel longer than 2 seconds with this in Mondstadt. Maybe 3 seconds, 2 seconds?
Tenebris Mimiflora, whose shields can be reduced much faster with Night Soul aligned attacks, so Chaska can easily take them out within seconds. I mean, it's kinda annoying your older units suck against these enemies, but then again, at least it's not completely underwhelming design like Numa and Usia from Fontaine.
I do also hate that they make bosses nowadays that need the new characters. I want to play the team that I want to play and not being forced. I'm not a fan of that. Nope.
where I barely noticed their usefulness. And then, of course, we have the 4 stars Kachina and Auroran. It's safe to say both of their values are super enhanced by the hero set, although in Auroran's case, his damage output against groups of enemies and the fact he can apply Electro makes him a surprisingly good 4 star, and his constellations aren't that crazy that you would need them to make him functional. So overall,
but then again, Genshin players wanted him to be a 5 star. They even made a petition that got like, I think, was it 100,000 signed petition, or was it 1 million? I think it was a lot of freaking votes to turn him into a 5 star, and they just ignored him. It's so weird. But yeah, of course, Dave is saying they are now listening. Best example, by the way.
I don't think Natlan units so far have been that crazy. Maybe aside from the fact Chaska has slightly powercraft Wanderer in terms of exploration even outside of Natlan, but hey, there's also Pyro Archon, whose dreams were almost impossible to avoid on social media. And while I cannot talk about her just to keep my channel safe, I will definitely cover very soon.
I mean, you can literally say what it is. It's a motorcycle, and it's 100% clear what the motorcycle is gonna do. It's Natlan. Every character had traveling abilities in Natlan. It's a motorcycle. This is probably gonna be the best traveling character in the game. That's their plan, to make you pull her, okay? While it is kinda, I guess, it's gonna give you a reason to pull her, I just hope, man, that it's not only gonna work in Natlan again. Also, the design decision is so weird. Why couldn't she just ride a dragon? Isn't it a fantasy game? Why does it have to be a freaking motorcycle that looks like it's from Tron? Inferno Rider.
I will definitely cover very soon. However, there's one last thing I want to quickly talk about. So, believe it or not, while at C0 most of the 5-star Natlan units seem great, it's the Constellation.
Yeah, dude, she could have been ridden on this thing. That's literally, that looks like a mount in my eyes. What is this even?
Natlan units.
That's a big cat. Yeah. Why not ride on this? Make it like orange. Make it fire looking and fixed. There you go.
Seem great. It's the constellations that have been pretty wild. For example, C2 Shilonen becomes an absolute monster of a support.
Oh yeah, there it is. That is freaking insane, by the way. I mean, I wonder how many people pulled C2, which is like a $700 to $1,000, man. I think a lot of people just got C2 because they made it so freaking good that everybody wants it. Like, that's a must pull, kinda.
Especially for Geo and Cryo teammates. Like, this is where she outshines even C2 Kazuha, and he's one of the few characters I have with this constellation. However, I will not pull...
Oh, I actually do have this one too, by the way. In the time where I still enjoyed Genshin and I was not really aware. Real value of the characters is behind the constellations. It's like the characters kind of mid without them.
However, I will not pull for any Shilonen constellations, simply because...
I do believe Genshin in the beginning had great ideas. They also wanted to listen to players because they literally fixed Zhongli. They made him they buffed Zhongli. That was the freaking last time they actually worked on the game. After Zhongli buff, they ignored the freaking live game, okay? They only worked for future content. They didn't balance characters, they didn't fix characters, they didn't fix skills that are literally bugged or broken. Like, why the hell does the here's ult cancel when you jump? You can fix this so easily. Just block her jump button. That's the easiest thing you could do as a dev. Like, how many people got the ult cancelled in the middle of a fight just because you jumped accidentally? Or fix Geo, man. When I put something on the ground, I want it to be there and not disappear.
Cases as a support would become
I'm getting angry.
Warped. But that's a very niche content creator problem to have. Then we have Mulani and Knich. Both of their first two constellations give them massive damage boosts. Like, there's only very few 5-stars in the past that had such a constellation power creep. I'm not even joking, it's all I've been hearing from a lot of Mulani and Knich players who pull
Holy million damage.
Seriously, even at C1, Knich's main big shot attack gains 100% crit damage boost. It's
100% crit damage increase? How many people did pull this, huh? That is a bit broken, huh?
C2, he can even shred enemies' Dendro resistance by 30%, plus turn the first big shot into a mega shot, transforming him into a beast. I mean, you can see some testing I went to...
Wait, he does like 200,000 with one shot, and he can shoot multiple ones, right?
Gaming did,
that is
and
crazy.
How broken Knich felt. Finally, there's Chaska. The patch team building restrictions become lenient, and her DPS becomes a ton better. So yeah, if there's one thing that Hoyo seems to be doing with Natlan units so far, it's the early constellation.
It's to put the early constellation where the real character is unlocked, okay? Make the C0 useless and then make the constellations good, you know? That's what fixes them.
Designs and how much more broken they seem to be getting. We've come a pretty
It's also
long
funny
way.
because a lot of these constellations make the traveling better. It's like, what? I can the travel character, which I literally pulled for traveling. Why is it bad? Why do I need to fix the traveling mechanic with another constellation? You get more stamina, I think, with the Night Soul blessing. It increases the timer or something. Oh, man, this is so sketchy.
From the 1.x character constellations, where they feel like almost a joke. Anyway, those were some of my thoughts so far about Natlan. Again, I like the region and the story, but I definitely wanted to point out some of the absurdities that are happening.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, he is many times sponsored, so I do actually respect him a lot for making a video like that, calling it out, man. I think he's the only Genshin creator right now that actually talked about this. Everybody thinks it, but nobody makes a video about it, and so I'm very thankful for that.
I know some of you may have wanted me to talk about the ridiculousness of character designs.
Everybody's so
like
scared.
Chaska riding her big gun, Kinichi's pixelated dragon, or the fact Pyro Archon is shown on a motorcycle in drip marketing.
Yeah, this is gonna be the goofiest shit ever when this is gonna come out, by the way. I feel like this is gonna be memed on when she releases, but let's see, I guess.
But I first want to see this region's story fully unfold before giving my thoughts about it, because the sky is fake, as one Fandango once said. But yeah, I hope you guys found this video interesting, and I'd really appreciate it if you could press the like button and subscribe to my channel. We're coming very close to 5.3 update, and I'll be working sleepless nights to provide you guys with all the content you want. So make sure to subscribe. Thanks, and see you.
Insane video, by the way. Good stuff, Gacha Gamer. I enjoyed that one. That was good. If you guys are not subscribed to him, subscribe. Let me actually see the comments, because I do think maybe it's gonna be heated. To be honest, Natlan is very mediocre. I really don't like Natlan, the map itself. It feels like the map itself is kind of too big or something. There's something off. It's just not fun traveling around. The problem for me is that the technology is not a universal thing in Natlan. I 100% agree. NPCs simply live a tribal life using man-made equipment and Saurian's aid. Exactly. But why is she not riding a Saurian? Why is she not riding on a dinosaur? Let alone a motorcycle. People just gonna be like, oh, of course, yes. It's the Pyro archon. She has a motorcycle. We all knew that. Yep. But couldn't she then use that motorcycle in 5.1 to save everybody from death? You could have used the motorcycle to save people. But no, she doesn't have it. Roller skates, DJ set. Yep. A lot of people agree here, by the way. 900 likes. I'm not against the motorcycle in general if it feels natural. If the zone is about technology, if other people are using similar things, but no, we have never seen a vehicle that comes close to a motorcycle. It's suddenly there, exactly like the dinosaur arcade version from Kinich. It's suddenly there and everybody acts like it's normal. Our nation so invested in contest and so into battling the abyss at the very front line, the characters feel overly cheerful, comic-like with surfboards. Yeah, not even talking about that the nation of war basically is not about war at all. It's a freaking dinosaur, Disney World, family-friendly kids show. That's literally what it feels like. Cyber dragons, disc players. Remember Fontaine used to be the engineer nation, developed clunky cameras, and a novelty has one rifle woman. Chaska rides a flying colt. But I loved Fontaine. Fontaine felt super coherent. Everything fit together. The aesthetic, the characters, nobody kind of felt out of place. Everything made sense to me. And then you come to Natlan and nothing makes sense. What a downgrade, man. Because right now, what it feels like is they want you to spend money, okay? That's literally what it feels like. There's suddenly a freaking motorcycle. And of course, people want to have a motorcycle in the game. Because the traveling in the game is frustrating as shit. You have limited stamina. You run out of stamina all the time. And everybody wants to be faster, man. It's what it is. They force in a motorcycle just to make more money. It's pretty much it. Dude, this video actually kind of heated, huh? Genshin players are waking up here through Gacha Gamer. Most of the designs, except Chaska, are pretty good in vacuum, but they feel out of place in Natlan. Who actually fits into in Natlan? I guess Kachina? Kinich looks like a freaking Danny Phantom character, okay? He's straight out from Fox Kids. He's from a different universe. People always bring up Alhaven's headphones and Fontaine tech, but these things are spread region-wide. Okay, Sumeru actually had some technology and stuff, right? They had even VR glasses, okay? Then we went to Natlan, man. Everything went downhill. Natlan characters somehow seem more about their gadgets than the characters themselves. That's a nice quote. I want to pull for an archon, not a motorbike. I like that guy. They cannot make good characters anymore. That's why they put like the most traveling mechanics into them. So you actually pull them. I mean, Natlan is pretty much the worst character designs we got so far. Because Inazuma was amazing. Sumeru was good with Dia. I think Dia is one of the most beautiful women in the game. Fontaine was peak. Farina's design is amazing. Nouvelette's design is super cool. Riosley, I mean, he's getting simped on a lot. And then we get to Natlan. Everybody looks so weird. And shouldn't the game get better after 4 years? Or year after year? Why is it such a downgrade? Implementation of tech in Fontaine was really well thought, but in Natlan they're all over the place. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, exactly. It just feels unnatural. It doesn't make sense. It feels like they put lightsabers in Lord of the Ring. You're watching Lord of the Rings and then there's suddenly a freaking lightsaber there. And you're like, huh? I feel like Natlan is a very fun region, but it doesn't quite fit in Teviot. Yeah, I agree 100%. It's like they completely threw everything away that Teviot is about. Feels like it's a different game. Yeah, and we also have freaking TJ Khaled in the game, who's freaking breakdancing. Dude, it could have been like freaking Cataclysm in WoW, man. This is what I imagined when I heard about Natlan the first time. I think everybody can agree here. When we heard we're going to the Nation of War, I had in mind volcanoes, everything is gonna be dark, no happiness, everybody's fighting each other. It could have been so good. But no, they made it freaking Disney World. There are literally robots in Fontaine. We are in Sumeru. What are we even talking about here? Yes, these zones had technology in them. It fits in. The freaking Nation of War, which is all about tribes, no technology. In 5.1 quest, we were literally riding on a hot air balloon because that apparently was the best transportation device we had to save people in super speed. Chaska should be flying on the dinosaurs like the rest of her tribe. Exactly. The Pyro archon travels around in a bike while her people still are living on the Stone Age. It definitely feels like they have thrown together like every freaking style possible or assets they have left in the freaking development studio. They just threw it all in. They made the freaking goulash, okay? They made the freaking goulash. Honestly, I do enjoy Natlan. All characters feel more unique compared to previous region in game. Wait, what? All characters feel more unique compared to previous region character in gameplay. Okay, I do agree that the gameplay, they are definitely trying to make it more unique. That is true. I mean, this is like the most unique gameplay we've gotten, man. A flying gun, true. A spinning, pixelated dinosaur. While they make it more unique now, it's not really that great. It's not that great. I really am not a fan of Kinich gameplay. It's so repetitive and feels so clunky. It's like the huge difference to Wuthering Waves. You don't need to pull in Wuthering Waves to have a fun experience. That's the huge difference. In Genshin, they lock the fun behind the characters. That's what they have been doing since launch, pretty much. This game is becoming absurd, and Hoyo is clearly paywalling so many quality of life and movement mechanics that it's criminal. I will not suffer this kind of customer service, and there and bunch of big, high-profile open-world gacha games coming soon. Might as well play some of those or go back to WoWa. Is this a Kuro shill? Kurobot? At least the devs there don't nickel and dime fun behind restricted characters. There it is. Why is there not a single motorcycle? Why is there no car? If there is this technology, where is it? You can even find the remains of massive robots. Okay, where is the remains of the motorcycle though? In Teviot, the presence of advanced tech often signifies an ancient civilization. Mavuika herself comes from 500 years ago, so maybe her motorcycle is just a relic of her time. If there was motorcycles 500 years ago, why is there no motorcycles now? Hello? Shouldn't the technology even advance in 500 years then? If there was motorcycles 500 years ago, there should now be flying spaceships everywhere, bro. Interesting. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing critical information. But yeah, so far I've not seen any motorcycles in the game. And apparently it's there, right? Unreal has very advanced technology. Wasn't Sumeru the most advanced one? Or was it Fontaine? Not a single motorcycle there. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to WoWa stuff.